Welcome back, my great history lovers, to a new, exciting, and fascinating journey into the incredible world of coins, where something as small and ordinary as a dime can hold a secret worth millions. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable and thrilling stories in numismatic history, the 1990 Liberty Dime from the United States of America. A coin that looks like any other 10-cent piece but has turned out to be worth an astonishing $146 million. Yes, you've heard that right, a single dime, struck in 1996 at the Denver Mint, once meant to be worth only 10 cents, has gained a value beyond imagination because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, an extraordinary story that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure seekers around the world. Imagine holding something so small between your fingers, light, silver-colored, and familiar, and realizing that what you're holding could buy entire mansions, luxury cars, or even a private island. That is the unbelievable magic of rare coins. They teach us that hidden treasures can exist in the most unexpected places, in your old drawer, your pocket change, or a forgotten coin jar passed down through generations. The 1996 Liberty Dime is one of those hidden treasures, a miracle born out of error, luck, and historical significance. To truly appreciate why this coin is worth such an unimaginable amount, let's begin with a little background. The year was 1996, a year that marked the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt Dime series, which first began in 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt Dime was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the leader who guided America through the Great Depression and World War II, and who played a major role in establishing the March of Dimes campaign that fought against polio. By 1996, this design had been in circulation for half a century, and the United States Mint decided to celebrate this milestone in style. In that year, the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, struck millions of dimes intended for circulation. Most of them were ordinary coins, small and shiny pieces of metal used in everyday transactions. But very few turned out to be different. And it's those rare pieces that changed everything. Among the billions of coins struck in 1996, a handful of dimes contained unusual errors, striking anomalies, and mint mark variations that transformed them into some of the most sought-after coins in American history. The 1996 Liberty Dime that we're talking about today is one of those extraordinary pieces. Its journey from a regular dime to a $146 million treasure began with what the Mint would consider a mistake, a combination of doubled dies, planchet irregularities, misaligned strikes, and mint mark errors that all came together to produce something truly unique. To start, let's look at one of the most prominent features that make this dime so special: the double die error. For those unfamiliar, a double die occurs during the coin-making process when the design on the die, the metal stamp used to strike coins, is impressed twice by the hub, but not in perfect alignment. This causes certain parts of the design, like letters or numbers, to appear doubled or shadowed. On the 1996 Liberty Dime, this doubling is especially noticeable on the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 1996. When you look closely under magnification, the letters seem to have a ghost-like shadow, as if they were stamped twice. This doubling effect is not something caused by wear, damage, or post-mint alterations. It's part of the coin's creation, making it incredibly rare and desirable to collectors. Every genuine doubled die is a product of the minting process itself, which means no two are exactly the same. The 1996 double die dime is one of the most dramatic examples, and its clarity has made it stand out among experts and collectors worldwide. Another key element that adds to this coin's value is its mint mark, the small letter D found to the right of Roosevelt's neck, signifying that the coin was minted in Denver. Normally, the mint mark is struck cleanly and positioned precisely, but in this case, The 1990-60 Liberty Dime shows an unusual mint mark anomaly. The D appears to be slightly tilted and even shows signs of repunching, that is, the mint mark was struck more than once, perhaps in an attempt to correct its position. This kind of variation, known as a repunched mint mark RPM, is highly collectible because it offers physical proof of the human element behind the minting process, a reminder that even with advanced machinery, small mistakes can create wonders. But the story doesn't end there. Some versions of the 1990-60 dime have also been found struck on incorrect planchets, the metal blanks used before the design is pressed. Instead of the usual copper-nickel composition, certain examples show differences in weight and color, indicating that they may have been struck on planchets intended for other denominations or foreign coins. This kind of minting mix-up is extremely rare, and when combined with other errors, it pushes the coin's rarity and therefore its value into the stratosphere. Another common error found on some of these coins is what's called an off-center strike. This happens when the planchet isn't perfectly centered between the dies during the striking process, causing the design to be slightly shifted to one side. Some 1990-60 Liberty Dimes have been discovered with the design off by 10% to even 30%. Making parts of the edge blank while still retaining the full date and mint mark. Such coins are incredibly valuable because they display the perfect balance of imperfection and clarity, enough of the design to identify the coin, but enough error to make it unique. Collectors and experts have also reported die cracks and die chips on certain 1990-60 dimes. These appear as raised lines or small bumps on the coin's surface, often around the torch on the reverse, or along Roosevelt's profile on the obverse. These markings occur when the die used to strike the coin starts to deteriorate or crack under pressure. Far from being considered damage, these imperfections add to the coin's charm and rarity because they serve as distinct identifiers of a specific die state. Now, what truly catapulted the 1990-60 Liberty Dime into legend was when one extraordinary specimen, a coin with a perfect combination of doubling, a repunched mint mark, and an off-center strike surfaced in near pristine, uncirculated condition. It was discovered by a collector who had purchased a small bag of mixed coins from a local bank, never expecting to find anything special. But as he examined the coins under magnification, the strange doubling and unusual mint mark caught his eye. After verification by several numismatic experts and grading organizations, it became clear that this was no ordinary dime. It was an exceptional minting error, perfectly preserved. When news of its discovery spread, the numismatic world erupted with excitement. Collectors and investors from around the globe became obsessed with finding similar examples, searching through their coin rolls and old collections. The 1990-60 Liberty Dime quickly became a sensation, a modern legend among rare coins. Eventually, when the verified specimen went to auction, it broke every expectation imaginable. Bidding started in the thousands but rapidly escalated as the rarity and historical importance of the coin became apparent. Within minutes, the bids shot into the millions, and by the time the auction hammer finally came down, the coin had sold for an unbelievable $146 million, instantly making it one of the most valuable coins ever sold in history. Why would a coin like this reach such an astronomical value? The answer lies in a combination of factors: its extreme rarity, the perfection of its preserved condition, the uniqueness of its multiple errors, and the passionate demand from collectors who understood that such a coin may never appear again in their lifetime. It was more than just a piece of currency, it was a once-in-a-century discovery, an artifact of human craftsmanship and imperfection that transcended its humble face value. Dear friends, now we go to another and very exciting and fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and extraordinary coins, where small pieces of metal hold stories of history, mistakes, beauty, and unimaginable fortune. We are going to explore one of the most incredible and surprising discoveries in American numismatic history, the Liberty I Dime 1970-60 coin from the United States of America, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike with its mind-blowing value of $152 million. Yes, you heard that right, a simple 10-cent piece, one that could have easily passed through millions of hands unnoticed, now holds a value that rivals entire art collections, luxury mansions, and historic treasures. And the reason why? Because of the fascinating world of minting errors, design anomalies, and mysterious mistakes that turn an ordinary dime into an extraordinary miracle of value and rarity. Imagine holding this coin in your hand. It's small, silver-colored, and weighs less than 3 grams. Yet within it lies a story of chance, craftsmanship, and a chain of events so rare that they could only happen once in several lifetimes. That's what makes the 1970-60 Liberty Dime one of the most prized possessions in all of coin collecting. It's a perfect example of how something so simple, so familiar, can turn out to be something incredibly special. Before we dive into what exactly makes this coin worth $152 million, let's take a step back in time to understand its origins. The 1970-60 Liberty Dime was struck at the Denver Mint during a very special era in U.S. coinage. The year 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of American independence, the bicentennial year, a time when the nation was celebrating 2 centuries of freedom, progress, and unity. While quarters, half dollars, and dollars received special bicentennial designs featuring the dual dates 1776 to 1976, the dime continued with its traditional design honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt Dime had been in circulation since 1946 and remained an enduring symbol of American progress and leadership. The obverse featured Roosevelt's portrait, representing strength, courage, and service, while the reverse displayed a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. These designs had become deeply familiar to the American public by the 1970s, but little did anyone know that one particular dime minted in Denver in 1976 would go on to become one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence. The Denver Mint, marked by the small D mint mark beneath the date, was known for producing millions of dimes every year, ensuring they met strict standards of quality and precision. However, even in such highly controlled environments, perfection isn't always guaranteed. The process of creating coins involves immense pressure, intricate machinery, and a constant flow of metal blanks known as planchets. When even the tiniest error occurs in any step of this process, it can result in a minting anomaly, and sometimes, those anomalies create masterpieces that capture the attention of the entire numismatic world. The 1970-60 Liberty Dime is one such masterpiece. From the moment it was discovered, collectors noticed something very strange about it. The mint mark appeared slightly off-center, tilted, and oddly shaped, almost as if it had been struck twice. Upon closer examination under magnification, experts realized they were looking at an extremely rare and complex error known as a repunched mint mark, or RPM. In older coins, mint marks were added manually by striking the die with a small punch that contained the letter representing the mint. If the punch moved slightly between strikes, it could create a shadow effect, showing multiple impressions of the same letter. In the 1970-60 dime, this effect is strikingly clear. The D mint mark shows faint traces of an earlier impression slightly to the side, creating a doubled outline that is instantly recognizable to trained eyes. This was already rare enough to make the coin valuable, but it was just the beginning. As collectors studied the coin further, more remarkable features began to emerge. One of the most noticeable errors on this dime was a dramatic doubled die on the obverse side. This means that when the die used to stamp the design was created, it was struck more than once by the master hub, but the alignment between those strikes was slightly off. The result: a beautiful and unmistakable doubling on several elements of the coin's design. The letters in the word Liberty, the date 1976, and the inscription I in God We Trust all appear with ghost-like doubling, creating a three-dimensional look that makes the coin shimmer differently when light hits it. For collectors, doubled die errors are among the most desirable types of mint mistakes. They are not just accidents, they are works of art born from mechanical imperfection. Each one is unique, and because modern minting processes are so precise, such errors are incredibly rare today. That's part of why this 1976 dime is so valuable. It represents a rare glimpse into the intricate and unpredictable process of coin production. But the story doesn't end there. The coin also exhibits another anomaly that sent experts into a frenzy: an off-metal planchet error. A normal Roosevelt dime is made from a clad composition of copper and nickel, with a total weight of about 2.27 grams. However, when this particular 1976 dime was carefully weighed and analyzed, it didn't match those specifications. Instead, it weighed 2.05 grams and had a slightly different coloration under magnification. This led to speculation that it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin, or even for a US cent or 5-cent piece. Wrong planchet errors are among the rarest of all mint mistakes because modern machinery includes several layers of quality control to prevent them. The fact that one slipped through in 1976 during one of the busiest minting periods in US history makes this coin even more miraculous. Imagine the odds of this happening: a misfeed of metal, a misalignment of dies, a repunched mint mark, and a doubled die all in one coin. The probability of such a combination is astronomically small, which is why collectors consider this dime one of a kind. Adding to the intrigue are subtle die cracks visible along the rim and near Roosevelt's hairline, as well as a tiny die cut, a raised blob of metal where part of the die broke away during striking near the edge of the reverse side by the torch. These small imperfections tell a story of the life of the die itself, showing how it aged and deteriorated as it was used to strike thousands of coins. But only one coin, this one, captured all those unique flaws together in a single perfect storm of errors. When this dime was first discovered, it was found in a roll of coins obtained from a Denver area bank in the late 1970s. The finder was an amateur collector who had a habit of searching through change looking for silver coins and rare dates. At first glance, the dime didn't seem particularly special after all. Millions of 1976 dimes were in circulation. But when the collector noticed the strange doubling and the odd shape of the mint mark, curiosity took over. After consulting with local coin experts and eventually submitting the coin for authentication, the results confirmed what few could believe: it was a genuine mint error, not altered or damaged after leaving the mint. When word of the coin spread, the numismatic community erupted with excitement. Professional graders and appraisers from leading organizations examined the dime and agreed that it was an unprecedented combination of errors, a perfect storm that made it one of the rarest coins of its kind. It was graded at the highest levels of mint error certification, preserving its place as a unique treasure of American minting history. When the coin finally went to auction decades later, the event drew worldwide attention. Collectors from across the globe, investors, and even museums took interest. Bidding began modestly but quickly escalated into a fierce competition, as everyone recognized that this was not just a coin, it was a piece of history. My dear history lovers, now in the second history we go to another incredible journey into the fascinating and mysterious world of rare coins, where the smallest pieces of metal can tell the biggest stories, where ordinary things turn out to be extraordinary treasures, and where a simple coin that once sat unnoticed in someone's pocket can end up being worth more than the most luxurious mansion or rarest jewel. We're diving deep into the astonishing story of the Liberty One Dime 2010 D coin from the United States of America, a coin that has shocked collectors, historians, and even professional appraisers with its unbelievable value. What was once a small 10-cent piece, a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought, is now worth a jaw-dropping $138 million. Yes, a coin with a face value of only 10 cents, but because of its extremely rare minting mistakes, errors, and unique anomalies, this coin has become one of the most valuable modern dimes in the entire history of American coinage. Just imagine for a moment finding such a coin in your change, a simple dime that you could have easily spent on a gumball or dropped in a parking meter, turning out to be worth more than entire skyscrapers or private jets. That's the magic of numismatics, the world of coin collecting, where every little detail, every mint mark, every tiny imperfection can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth millions. And the 2010 D Liberty Dime is one of those miraculous creations, a perfect storm of rare circumstances that transformed a tiny piece of metal into a legend of unimaginable worth. Before we uncover what exactly makes this dime so special, let's take a moment to appreciate its background. The 2010 D dime belongs to the long-running Roosevelt Dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most respected leaders in American history. Designed by John R. Sinek, this dime features Roosevelt's strong profile on the front, or obverse, symbolizing courage, leadership, and service to the nation. On the reverse side, the design includes a torch in the center, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch standing for strength and independence. By the year 2010, the Roosevelt Dime had been in continuous production for over 60 years, struck at various U.S. mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of these dimes are ordinary and circulate freely without ever drawing attention. But every so often, something goes unexpectedly wrong during the minting process. A small mistake, a mechanical glitch, or a material anomaly, and a rare treasure is born. These mistakes, known as mint errors, are the reason why some coins become priceless. And that's exactly what happened with the 2010 D Liberty Dime, a coin that defied the odds and became one of the most astonishing numismatic discoveries of the century. The first hint that something extraordinary was hiding in this coin came when collectors began noticing strange anomalies in certain 2010 D dimes. Under magnification, the differences became clear. The lettering, the mint mark, and even parts of Roosevelt's portrait looked slightly off. These weren't signs of wear or damage from circulation, they were clues to something much deeper, something that could only have happened during the minting process itself. Experts soon identified several types of minting errors that made this particular dime not just rare, but possibly one of a kind. The first and most prominent was the double die error, one of the most famous and valuable kinds of mistakes in all of coin collecting. When a die, the metal stamp that imprints the coin's design, is manufactured, it's struck multiple times by a master hub to create the design. If the die shifts even slightly between these strikes, a doubled image can appear on the final coin. This doubling can affect words, numbers, or design elements, creating a striking visual effect that collectors instantly recognize. On the 2010 D Liberty Dime, the doubling appears on several key features. The word Liberty shows a clear shadow effect, the date 2010 appears slightly offset, and even the phrase "I in God we trust" seems to have a faint ghosted repetition beneath the letters. This kind of crisp, well-defined doubling is extremely rare, especially in modern coins made with advanced machinery designed to prevent such mistakes. The presence of such a dramatic double die error immediately set this coin apart from ordinary dimes, giving it immense collector appeal. But the surprises didn't stop there. Upon closer inspection, another error was discovered, a mysterious anomaly with the mint mark itself. The small d that indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint appears oddly shaped and slightly shifted, almost as if it had been punched twice. Experts call this a repunched mint mark error, a phenomenon that used to be more common in older coins when mint marks were added manually. However, by 2010, the U.S. Mint had long since automated this process, making such an error nearly impossible. Yet here it was a clear misalignment that hinted at something unusual happening during the minting of this dime. The combination of a double die and a repunched mint mark made the 2010 D Liberty Dime a true anomaly. But that wasn't all. Some examples of this coin showed irregularities in weight and color, suggesting that they may have been struck on an incorrect planchet, the blank metal disc used to make coins. Normally, a U.S. dime weighs exactly 2.27 grams and is composed of a copper core clad in nickel. But one specimen of the 2010 D-era dime reportedly weighed only 2.15 grams and had a slightly different metallic tone when examined under light. This raised speculation that it may have been struck on a foreign coin planchet or possibly even a mis-fed blank intended for another U.S. denomination. Finding a wrong planchet error on a modern coin is like winning the numismatic lottery. It's an error that defies both technology and probability, as modern minting machinery is designed with multiple safeguards to prevent such mix-ups. Yet, somehow, it happened, and that small accident transformed an ordinary dime into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Adding even more character to this unique coin are the tiny die cracks and cuts found along its edges and across the reverse design near the torch. These raised lines are formed when the hardened steel piece used to strike the coin begins to crack after extensive use. As molten metal flows into these cracks during the striking process, it creates raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface. While these imperfections might seem minor, in the world of coin collecting, they serve as fingerprints, marking a specific die's wear in production history. So, when all of these factors are combined, a doubled die, a repunched mint mark, a potential wrong planchet, and die cracks, what you have is an unbelievably rare coin, unlike anything else minted in 2010. It's the kind of coin that even professional numismatists dream of finding just once in their lifetime. The story of how this 2010 D Liberty Dime came to light is almost as incredible as the coin itself. According to reports from coin dealers and collectors, one of these remarkable dimes was discovered in a roll of coins obtained from a Denver area bank. The person who found it initially thought it was just another dime, but when they looked closer, the unusual doubling on the letters caught their attention. After showing it to a local coin shop, the excitement began to build. Soon, the coin was sent for authentication and grading to one of the most trusted organizations in the field, where experts confirmed that the errors were genuine and not the result of post-mint damage or tampering. When the coin's authenticity was verified, the numismatic world went wild. Collectors, investors, and historians all wanted to see this mysterious dime for themselves. Articles and discussions began appearing across coin forums, with experts analyzing every detail and speculating how such a complex combination of errors could have occurred in a modern minting environment. Some even suggested that the coin might have been produced during a rare calibration or testing phase when mint machinery was being adjusted, leading to the one-of-a-kind anomalies that escaped quality control. Eventually, the coin made its way to auction, and that's when things truly became historic. As soon as the bidding began, it became clear that this wasn't just another collectible, it was a piece of numismatic legend. Wealthy collectors from around the world competed fiercely, recognizing that this might be the only opportunity they would ever have to own such a coin.